Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Hide and Sneak archetype, which recently came out in Pitch Black. So I've been playing this deck for about a month now, and I feel a little lost with it. I don't feel like I'm getting the success that I think that I would be getting with it. The deck seems really strong, the archetype seems really cool, but I'm just not grasping the deck. So we're going to just be taking a look at the cards inside of it. Starting out with this Dhelmise. So Dhelmise is a basic. It's an HP of 140. So this is a single prize card that has an HP of 140. It's got the attack Vengeful Anchor. And it says for a psychic energy, it does 30 plus. It says if you have 4 or more Pokemon that have the Hide and Sneak ability in your discard pile, this attack does 140 more damage. So it maxes out at 170 damage if you have 4 Hide and Sneak Pokemon in your discard pile. It has a retreat of 3, which is pretty heavy, but since you want it in the active spot attacking usually, it doesn't really matter. Weakness to Darkness ×2, resistance to fighting -30, and then the retreat for 3. So this is like the main attacker. I think it's really strong. 170 is a great number because you attack twice into these massive megas with 340 HP and you're taking 3 prizes. So I love that about this card. But it seems like getting the 4 Hide and Sneak cards into your discard pile seems a lot more difficult than it actually seems. There's a lot of games where I've felt myself just attacking with the 30 damage, and it's been relatively unsuccessful. So I kind of want to just break this down and kind of just take a look at everything today. The 4 Hide and Sneak Pokemon are going to be Shuppet. So this is a HP of 50. It's a Psychic type. It's a basic. It's got the Hide and Sneak ability. So the Hide and Sneak ability says prevent all effects of your opponent's Pokemon's attacks and abilities done to this Pokemon. Damage is not an effect. So anything like the Dragapult spreading 60 damage onto these things, it doesn't do that. The Baby Frostlass doesn't put damage counters on this. Can't be affected by a special condition, which is huge. So it can't fall asleep, can't be poisoned, can't be burned, can't be paralyzed. It's really, really amazing. The Hide and Sneak ability is really amazing, which is why I'm so interested in building this deck. My girlfriend really wants to play this deck, so I'm trying to make it work. It's got the attack Hang Down, which is a psychic energy for 10 damage, so nothing special about the attack for this, but the Hide and Sneak ability is huge. Weakness to Darkness ×2, resistance to fighting -30, and retreat for 1. So the Shuppet evolves into Banette. So Banette is a stage 1, it's got an HP of 80, it's a Psychic type. It's also got the Hide and Sneak ability, which is an incredible ability. It's got the attack Puppet Pull. For a Psychic energy, it does 80 damage. And it says you may search your deck for a card and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. So I mean, this card is so good, being able to just search your deck for whatever you want, put it directly into your hand, and be able to play it next turn. It just seems so strong. I don't feel like I'm attacking very often with these Pokemon though. So like I find myself attacking with the Dhelmise a lot more often than any of the Hide and Sneak Pokemon, which is probably natural because of the huge amount of damage that the Vengeful Anchor puts out. And these being all stage 1s, so it does take a turn to evolve them. The third Hide and Sneak Pokemon is Polteageist. So Polteageist is a basic, it's an HP of 30, it's a grass type. It's got the Hide and Sneak ability, and it's also got the attack Furtive Drop, which is 1 of any type. It does no damage, but it says place 1 damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. So you can only target the active, and it only places 1 damage counter. So both of these basic Hide and Sneak Pokemon seem really weak as far as like their attack goes. The weakness is to fire. It's got a resistance to nothing, and a retreat for free. So I love starting these in the active, having the free retreat, knowing that it can't get monkeyed, it can't get frostlassed, it can't be poison burned, paralyzed, or fall asleep. So you're always able to retreat into your Dhelmise, and this has been a great thing to just start the game with in the active spot. I really love starting this with in the active spot, but you never attack with it, so that's another thing. And then the fourth hide and sneak Pokemon is Sinistcha. So Sinistcha is a stage 1, evolves from Poltergeist. It's got an HP of 60, it's a grass type. It's got the hide and sneak ability, and it's got the attack Matcha Spin. For one of any type, it does no damage, but it says if you have 6 or more Pokemon that have the hide and sneak ability in your discard pile, place 4 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon. So it does an incredible damage spread. Once you get that hide and sneak number up to 6, you can start doing putting 4 damage counters on all of your opponent's Pokemon. I love attacking with this. I feel like I don't attack with it often enough because it just is such like it's just not a lot, but it's awesome. Weakness to fire ×2, no resistance, retreat for 1. So these are the 4 hide and sneak Pokemon. Some of them, you know, the basics are really average. You know, they're very weak basics. They're all babies. They're definitely getting blasted in the face when they get attacked. But their stage 1 seems so strong, right? So I think that maybe our game plan needs to be more focused on evolving and getting to the stage 1s and using them and allowing our opponent to knock these out, right? Because once they get knocked out, you have 2 hide and sneak Pokemon in the discard pile on top of whatever you're putting in there from discarding effects. So I think discarding effects are super relevant in this deck. The discarding effects that we've been using have been Ultra Ball. So this is an item, it's a trainer. It's called Ultra Ball, and it says you can use this card only if you discard 2 other cards from your hand, so perfect for the deck. You get to put 2 hide and sneak Pokemon into your discard pile, so it immediately gets you halfway there to attacking with your Vengeful Anchor for 170. And it says search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So I love this Ultra Ball for the deck. I feel like this is a great card for how this deck wants to function, right? It gets you any Pokemon in your entire deck. It discards 2 of your hide and sneak Pokemon, hopefully. So that builds up what you need to do. And you can play as many as you want in turns. If you have 2 Ultra Balls, you can discard 4 hide and sneak Pokemon and get yourself really going there. So I love this card for the deck. I feel like that's an absolute must-have. The other discard effect that we've been playing with has been Prism Tower. So this is a new card from the Chaos Rising set. It's a stadium, which we love having access to a stadium. I think it's really important for the game. So this is a stadium called Prism Tower. It says once during each player's turn, so your opponent can use it as well, that player may discard 2 cards from their hand in order to draw a card. So it goes so perfectly, right? You have the Prism Tower out, you have an Ultra Ball in your hand, you can discard up to 4 cards and get the game going immediately, right? So I think this is a perfect card for the deck. We have one more discard card that came out with the Pitch Black set, which is called Gwen, which is a supporter. So this supporter is incredibly strong. I mean, it was super strong in pre-release. I'm finding it to be less effective than I thought it would be. You know, there's a lot of times where I don't have the Pokemon that I want to be discarding in my hand, and maybe that's like the huge thing that I'm struggling with this deck. So Gwen says discard up to 2 Pokemon that don't have a rule box from your hand and draw 3 cards for each card you discarded in this way. Pokemon EX, Pokemon V, etc. have rule boxes, so this fits perfectly in the theme of the hide and seek deck. It allows me to discard 2 hide and seek Pokemon and draw 6 cards. You know, it's an insane amount of draw. It's so good, but there's been so many times that I feel like I'm either not seeing it fast enough, or when I see it, I don't have the Pokemon in my hand anymore because I already discarded them with Ultra Ball and Prism Tower. You know, it's been really strange. You know, it's been such a strange experience with this deck. But those are like the main cards that I think go in this deck, right? Ultra Ball, obviously, Prism Tower, obviously, Gwen, obviously, you know, those get our theme going. Discards the hide and seek Pokemon really easily and gets our Dhelmise popping off. So let's look at Dhelmise again. It's got a massive HP of 140, right? A lot of these Dragapult decks are, you know, or a lot of these decks in general are doing more than 140 attacking in the active spot. So you're losing this Pokemon a lot of the time. But they do have trouble getting it off of the bench. So things like Greninja EX, the fighting type from Twilight Masquerade, it has an attack that does 120 to 2 Pokemon. So if this is, you know, in the active spot, sitting on the bench, it can't get knocked out by Greninja's discarding or dealing damage to 2 different things for 120. This doesn't get knocked out from a Slowking using Kyurem's 110 to 3 different things, you know, so this has a nice body that is able to survive more than a turn against these decks that are dealing damage to the bench. This doesn't get knocked out from a Wellspring, you know, doing 120 damage to the bench and 100 damage to the active. So I really love the body on this, and I'm just really lost as to how I am losing these games that I'm playing. So online, I think a few times we've played against an Alakazam deck, and you would think that, you know, the Alakazam deck is so easy to beat because you just bench a bunch of hide and seek Pokemon and that's all you attack with basically. And so there's definitely a chance that I've been, you know, playing this completely wrong. And those are just like things that I want to talk about in this video and discuss and find, you know, different strategies and ways around that. And, you know, we have a bunch of tournaments this week that I would love to do well at. Today's tournament is at Trainer Court. It's one of my new favorite stores. They just upped their pricing. So for first place, we're doing a Greninja EX box. I think 8 Pitch Black booster packs and $35 store credit. So, you know, if I get first place today, I'm looking at probably over $100 worth of product. There's also a mid-season challenge coming up on Thursday at Brooklyn Strategist, which is another one of my favorite stores, and the first place gets a whole booster box. So, you know, these are things that I really want to be working towards and fighting for, and I feel like this deck has a great opportunity, and I just want to figure out what I'm doing wrong and what we could do better. So the main energy that has been extremely successful for this deck has been the telepathic psychic energy. This energy is bonkers. It's absolutely insane, in any psychic deck that can just, you play it. It's a special energy. It says, as long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides psychic energy. When you attach this card from your hand to a psychic Pokemon, search your deck for up to 2 basic psychic Pokemon and put them onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. Like, it's just so broken, you know, it's such a broken card where you get to attach it to your Dhelmise, right? You attach the psychic energy to your Dhelmise, you go search out for 2 more Dhelmise. Like, it's insane. It's been so bonkers, like, being able to play a psychic energy and just immediately go get 2 more Dhelmise has been insane. You can get the Shuppet onto the bench, and so maybe there's other psychic Pokemon that, you know, you could play in this deck. I've been thinking about running a Lily's Clefairy to get all these dragon types weak to Dhelmise, and then you're one-shotting Dragapults. So that could be, you know, something that we consider. I got a bunch of different cards right here that we can go through and check them out and talk about them, things that we're not playing in the deck. The A spec that I would like to be playing is probably Brilliant Blender. It's an item card that lets you search your deck for up to 5 cards and discard them. So it gets your hide and sneak trigger immediately. This is Lily's Clefairy. If you're not familiar with it, this came out in Journey Together. This is a basic. It's called Lily's Clefairy EX. It's HP of 190, Psychic type. It's got the ability Fairy Zone, and it says the weakness of each of your opponent's dragon Pokemon in play is now Psychic type. Full Moon Rondeau is the attack for a Psychic Energy and one of any type. It does 20 plus. It says this attack does 20 more damage for each bench Pokemon, both yours and your opponent. Weakness to metal ×2, no resistance, and a retreat for 1. So this could be something that we just need to add to the deck. I've been resistant on adding it because it's a 2-prizer, but it might make such a difference playing against these Dragapult decks that it's worth just putting in. It's searchable with the Telepathic Energy, so you can immediately get it onto the bench. You can search it out with Ultra Ball. You can't discard it with Gwen, but I guess you don't have to be discarding it with Gwen. So this could be something that we add into the deck to make it a little more resistant to these Dragapult decks, which seem to be so prevalent in the game right now. And that could be something that we add this week and see how that works. Another card that I've been super high on is this Transformation Tome from the Chaos Rising set. So Transformation Tome is an item card. It says you must play 2 Transformation Tome cards at once. This effect works 1 time for 2 cards. And it says choose a basic Pokemon in your discard pile and switch it with one of your basic Pokemon in play. Any attached cards, damage counters, special conditions, turns in play, and any other effects remain on the new Pokemon. So you can discard a bunch of stuff, which you're naturally going to be doing. You can, and then you play 2 Transformation Tomes, and you can get back any basic. So if the basic has been out for a turn, you can immediately evolve it into a stage 1. If you run out of Dhelmise, you can play 2 Transformation Tomes and get your Dhelmise back into the active spot. There's also another card that we got to look at real quick that has been something that I've enjoyed playing. It doesn't happen too often, but I think it does. I think it is a necessary evil in the deck, and that actually players have been targeting when I play it. So, you know, it's definitely powerful, and it gets the job done. And it's another hide and sneak themed card. It's Spiritomb. So Spiritomb is a basic. It's an HP of 60. It's a Psychic type. It's got Spiritual End for a Psychic Energy. It does no damage, but it says if you have 13 or more Pokemon that have the hide and sneak ability in your discard pile, choose 2 of your opponent's Pokemon and quadruple the number of damage counters on each of them. Insane card. A little difficult to pull off, but there are a lot of games that you can pull it off. You know, it is the last attacker of the game usually, but it does change the dynamic of the game when you're fighting against massive 340 HP Pokemon. When you're fighting against single prize Pokemon, where you're just going 1 for 1, 1 for 1, you really need to have something that you can take 2 prizes and win the game in 1 turn. So I really love Spiritomb. I think it's a little difficult to pull off, but I think it's 100% necessary in the deck. So 13 hide and sneak Pokemon. Let's count how many we have if we max out the hide and sneak cards, because I think that we're going to be usually probably wanting to max out the hide and sneak cards. Like, that's usually how I prefer to build my decks is, you know, if it's the theme of the deck, you want to be maxing out the theme. Our theme is hide and sneak discard, so we're going to be wanting to play with as many hide and sneak Pokemon as possible. So you'd be able to run 4 Shuppets, 4 Bannettes, 4 Poltergeist, and 4 Sinestcha. So 4 times 4 is 16. So you're able to safely prize 3 hide and sneak Pokemon and still pull off your Spiritomb at the end of the game. Another reason that I've been loving Transformation Tome is that you can discard Spiritomb and sneakily put it back into play at the end of the game. So I think that this Transformation Tome has been a huge card for this deck. I definitely don't want to be taking it out, even though it does feel maybe a little clunky, but it usually doesn't. Like I never feel like it's clunky. You know, if I have 2 in my hand and I'm saving them and I'm waiting with them, I never feel like I'm clunked up or don't want them in my hand. The other cards that we've been playing in this deck have been Lily's Determination. So basically every single deck in Standard runs this card. It's so strong. It's a supporter. If you don't know what it does, it says shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw 6 cards. If you have exactly 6 prize cards remaining, draw 8 cards instead. There's not a lot of things in Standard right now that are allowing you to draw as many cards as this. So I've been liking this in the deck. There's been a few other supporters that I've been trying out, like Iris's Determination, I think is what it's called. Let me see. But they just haven't been, they haven't been satisfying what Lily does for me, you know? If I can dump my whole hand, I can get down to just a couple cards in my hand. I can play a Lily's Determination and refresh the hand and hopefully draw into some more Pokemon and maybe an Ultra Ball and be able to use Prism Tower again. Iris's Fighting Spirit. So Iris's Fighting Spirit was in the pre-release kit when we played this during pre-release. This is a supporter. It's Iris's Fighting Spirit. It says, you can use this card only if you discard another card from your hand, so it works for the theme. It just doesn't discard more than one. And it says, draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand. So it's a little weak. I ended up taking it out because I'm just not... It just doesn't seem like as powerful as I would like it to be. Maybe it's a good one-of, just to have an extra discard effect that draws cards. The other cards that I have been playing in this have been Morty's Conviction, which basically does the same thing as Iris's Fighting Spirit, but instead of drawing until you have 6, it draws cards for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play. So if your opponent is playing, you know, a deck that likes to have, you know, a lot of Pokemon onto the bench, you draw between, you know, 5 and 8 cards sometimes because they have Area 0 and things of that nature. So Morty's Conviction can be good. The other card I've been experimenting with is Naveen. So Naveen is a supporter. It says draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. Before drawing cards, you may discard any number of cards from your hand. So I really like Naveen. I think it is strong. It goes really well with the theme because you can discard more than 1 card. So I can if I have 4 hide and sneak cards in my hand, I can discard all 4 of them with Naveen, and it's really effective. It just is a little weak, you know, only drawing up to 5 cards. You know, you really you either have to have a small hand size or you have to discard a lot of cards. I don't think it works that well. Like it works well with Transformation Tome. It works well in the deck. I could definitely see this being put back in as just an option. It's been okay. So Iris's Fighting Spirit and Naveen have been alright. They're not exactly like the power level of Lily's Determination, and a lot of time I feel like I just want to play a Lily's Determination over those cards, which is why I took them out. So these are the types of things that I've kind of been bouncing back and forth with and struggling with the deck. And I feel like a lot of the times I'm fighting against these decks where I'm so close to winning and then I lose, and it's just such a frustrating feeling. So here's Morty's Conviction, who we were talking about earlier. Morty's Conviction, you can only use this card if you discard another card from your hand, so again, works with the theme of wanting to discard things. It says, draw a card for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So sometimes you're drawing 2, you know, obviously, you can draw 0 sometimes, right? Because, you know, maybe your opponent doesn't have more than 1 or 2 Pokemon out. But sometimes against these decks, like the Toucannon deck, and majority of these decks want 5 Pokemon on their bench, you can draw 5 cards, you know, and you don't have to have a small hand size like Naveen. You don't have to have a small hand size like Iris's Fighting Spirit. You know, those are the problem with those 2 cards, is that you have to have a small hand size in order to get a benefit from it. Morty's Conviction just says how many cards you have, how many of your opponent's bench Pokemon do they have. You just count them, discard 1, and draw a bunch of cards. You know, I like it. I could see it being a 1-of in the deck again. So like these are the 3 supporter cards that we've been messing around with. Haven't felt like they're top tier, but again, they also fit the theme. And I think having something that fits the theme is sometimes better than super powerful, right? Another item card that we've been playing has been Pokegear. So this is a staple in a lot of decks. I think it's just a powerful card. And it's an item card. It's called Pokegear. It says, search your deck for a Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So, you know, it doesn't discard anything, but being able to just go search for something and then discard it, or search for something and then play it without having to have any type of drawback, especially for a deck that basically just runs a bunch of non-rule box cards, is incredible. So I've been really liking this card. I feel a little naked without it, so I like having this in the deck, and I really do want to keep that in there. I guess it was 2 days ago that we played this deck last. We put a bunch of baby supporter cards in our deck. And they're alright. I don't feel like too bad about playing them. A lot of them feel like they're necessary, and a lot of them feel like, since they are just basics that are single prizes, you don't feel bad about playing them, you don't feel bad about discarding them, you don't feel bad about, you know, transformation toming them. So the main one that I feel like the deck has to have is Shaymin. Even though Dhelmise gets around a lot of these bench damage stuff, over time you do start to lose the game, because they can attack, you know, multiple times with Slowking. They can attack multiple times with their Wellspring. They can attack multiple times with their Greninjas. So those are the things that we're seeing that are doing bench damage. Although none of those can take prizes immediately with their first attack. Over time, they start to knock out multiple Dhelmises, multiple, you know, but hide and seek doesn't prevent damage. So this seems to be important. The times that I don't play it, I feel like I want it in the deck. A lot of the times, you know, it is helpful, and my opponent ends up targeting it. A lot of the time, they'll boss it up. So in case you don't know what Shaymin does, it's an HP of 80, it's a grass type, it's a basic. It's got the ability Flower Curtain. It says, prevent all damage done to your benched Pokemon that don't have a rule box by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. So it's basically like a bench shield for, in this case, in this deck, it basically prevents damage from all of my bench Pokemon, because a lot of the time, up until now, I haven't played any Pokemon with a rule box. You know, I played, I think, 1 game with a Meowth, and it felt really good. You know, the Meowth felt really good, because Meowth EX allows you to go search for a supporter card, so you can go get your Gwen, you can get any supporter card that you want, and then you can use the transformation tome to get rid of your Meowth, so it's no longer a liability, and switch it out with a Dhelmise, or switch it out with one of the hide and seek Pokemon. Now, a lot of the time, or even Spiritomb. So a lot of the time, you're not switching out the using Transformation Tome for a hide and sneak Pokemon, I've noticed. I don't think there has really been a case where I'm just like, I want to, the only one that I think about doing is like into a Poltergeist so that I can evolve it into a Sinistcha and spread 40 more damage counters on everything. But Meowth EX, I played it in one version of this deck, and it feels good. It does feel good, because you definitely want to hit your Gwen on your first turn. Missing that really is hard. I feel like it's a hard game to play when you're not hitting all 4 hide and sneak Pokemon on your first turn. So Meowth EX is an HP of 170, it's a normal type, it's a basic. It's got the ability Last Ditch Catch. It says once during your turn when you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you may use this ability. Search your deck for a supporter card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. You can't use more than one ability that has Last Ditch Catch in its name each turn. The attack is Tuck Tail for 3 of any type. It does 60 damage. It says put this Pokemon and all attached cards into your hand. Weakness to fighting ×2, no resistance, retreat for 1. Pokemon EX roll. When this Pokemon is knocked out, your opponent takes 2 prizes. So this is something that I felt really good playing it in the deck. It's great because you can Ultra Ball into it. You can get it with Ultra Ball. Getting your Gwen, getting your Lilies, getting your even like a boss's orders is really nice. So I could definitely see this being put back into the deck because it just has such a nice like synergy with Transformation Tome, where you get this off of your bench so you don't have a 2 prize liability. So I did really like it when I played it. I took it out because I was trying to do something a little different. There's so many Pokemon in this deck that it feels a little clunky. But I also felt like last time I played it, I felt good playing 25 Pokemon in the deck because when you have a Gwen in your hand and you have extra Pokemon to discard, it makes it so much easier to do so. So one of the baby supporters Pokemon that I put in there was Patrat. Somebody suggested it to me the other day and I kind of brushed him off, but after thinking about it, I thought about, playing against these, just these Monkey Dories, where you do 170 damage with your Dhelmise, they Monkey Dory 30 off of it, you attack again, and you're missing your knockouts. So, I figured that I wanted this in there because I don't want to miss my attacks with my Dhelmise. So Patrat is a basic, it's an HP of 70, it's a normal type, it's got the ability Watchful Eye. It says damage counters on each Pokemon, both yours and your opponent's, can't be moved to other Pokemon. It's really good, it seems really good, just because, you don't have to worry about somebody monkeying the damage off of their big old Pokemon and you losing the knockout with your Dhelmise. So another one I put in there was Budew. I don't know if I like this Budew. I don't think I'm ever attacking with Budew over a Dhelmise if I have all 4 of my hide and sneak Pokemon in the discard pile. The only reason I like this Budew is because, item lock can be relevant a lot of the time. Just item locking one time, getting yourself reset up if you don't have the hide and sneak setup. But I feel like if you don't have the hide and sneak setup on your first turn going second, you're not winning that game a lot of the time. So I don't think, maybe Budew doesn't belong in this deck. There's no way of, Ultra Balling for Budew feels really bad. If you start with a Dhelmise in the active spot, it's got 3 retreat, so you're never retreating out of it into a Budew to use it. So I could see Budew coming out. I feel like every deck should run a Budew, but now that I'm talking about it, I could definitely see it coming out. The other support Pokemon that I put in the deck was a Psyduck. So this Psyduck is a basic, it's an HP of 70, it's a water type, it's got the ability Damp. It says Pokemon in play, both yours and your opponent's, lose any ability that requires the Pokemon using it to knock out itself. The main thing that this fights against is Dusknoirs and Duskulls and that line of Pokemon, because they can knock itself out, put 130 damage counters on something, put 50 damage counters on something. Usually it's being played in a Dragapult deck, so then they swing in, spread 60 more damage, and it just becomes a nuisance to have to deal with. I don't know if this is good enough to be putting in the deck, but there's been a lot of situations where I feel like I'm playing against Dragapult. They are able to Dusknoir and hit a Dhelmise. Obviously they can't target one of the hide and sneak Pokemon, but being able to target a Dhelmise for 130 damage counters and then place 1 damage counter on it with their 60 damage spread is just not pleasant. So this has been an addition. Since I put it in, I haven't played it, so it could be something that we take out. But other than that, I really am stuck in this vortex of not being able to get this deck off the ground. And I really want to, because I think it is really good. I think Dhelmise is a super cool Pokemon that deals 170 damage for 1 energy. That goes with a theme that is so easy to pull off a lot of the time, should be, right? So maybe Clefairy is something that we need to add into it. You know, we play against a lot of Dragapult decks in general. You can pretty much guarantee that 30% of any field is going to play Dragapult. When you kind of put that into a mathematical calculation, you could be playing, you know, 2 Dragapult decks every 5 games. That's a ton of Dragapult to have to deal with. So if you could add in something like a Clefairy EX that lets you one-shot Dragapults with Dhelmise, maybe it's worth it, right? Maybe it's something that you could just play and feel good about without having to feel like, oh, I'm losing, you know, prizes to, you know, I'm losing 2 prizes, right? A lot of the time it shouldn't matter that much. You can also tomb it away if you start with it. You can even add maybe a Lily's Pearl to the deck, which allows you to, it's a tool, and it says if the Lily's Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, that player takes 1 fewer prize card. So if it's attached to your Lily's Clefairy, they knock it out with damage, they are taking 1 less prize card. Obviously, if they're Duskulling, putting 130 damage on there, putting 60 damage counters on it with Dragapult, they're still taking 2 prizes. So I don't know if Lily's Pearl is worth putting in the deck, but it could be something that we consider. Another card that I feel, I mean, there's a few different items and supporters that have not been included in the deck recently that I feel like I'm missing, and I can't figure out space to put them in. Team Rocket's Petrol is one of them. I'm gonna grab them all real quick and we can discuss those. Special Red card is one of them. Judge, Night Stretcher, like there's just so many good items and supporters, and I'm not sure if this deck wants to play them or can play them. And so it's just been maybe a little challenging and difficult for me to figure out, to be honest with you. I'm having a tough time figuring it out. Which is why I just wanted to jump on here and discuss it with you guys. If you have any suggestions, if you've been playing this deck and been finding success with it, Morpeko, this is a funny card, but I've been running it online, and it's an interesting card for the deck because it has the ability Snack Seek, and it says once during your turn you may look at the top card of your deck, you may discard that card. So you know, it helps build up your hide and sneak discard pile, but I don't know if it's worth putting in. A lot of the time I feel like, you know, I'm basically already there. The only thing that it maybe helps with is like saying I don't really want to draw that next turn, so I can discard it. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple cards in here that I feel like need to be in every deck. I don't know if they should be in this deck. I feel like Boss's Orders is definitely one that needs to be in the deck, but I have not been playing it because I feel like if my opponent is, you know, retreating with damage counters on their Pokemon at the end of the game, a lot of the time I can use Spiritomb and just take it out. So Boss's Orders has not been it's been something that I've been taking out, to be honest with you, and I feel like I want it in the deck for certain situations, like being able to boss up a Meowth and knock it out in one shot with my Dhelmise. So that's something that I would like to put in the deck. I haven't figured out exactly the blend of cards. Battle Cage might be a nice one, just for protecting my Dhelmises from, you know, might play as a better role than a Psyduck, but the problem is that we already play Prism Tower. A lot of the time we want Prism Tower out there. Battle Cage says prevent all damage counters from being placed on bench Pokemon by effects of attacks and abilities from your opponent's Pokemon. It also neutralizes our Sinistcha, so I can no longer put damage counters on my opponent's bench stuff with my Sinistcha. So I don't think we're going to play the Battle Cage. Switch has been something that I've been running in the deck. I think Transformation Tome fixes the problem of Switch. A lot of the time you can just Transformation Tome the active away and you don't need the Switch. But Switch is something that there's been positions where I have too many damage counters on my Dhelmise in the active to be able to Transformation Tome it into a Spiritomb. So Switch has been something that I've been running and been taking out, but I could see it being good. Night Stretcher, I don't know if this card is necessary for the deck. If you play Transformation Tome, I can't think of anything besides a basic energy that I'd be wanting to Night Stretch a lot of the time, unless it's like, you know, unless I'm out of Transformation Tomes. But at that point, you know, maybe I'm Night Stretchering a Meowth, maybe I'm Night Stretchering a Lily's Clefairy. A lot of the time I feel like I might not want this as often as I think. Judge, I feel like every deck should run Judge. It's just a nice hand control option. I don't know if this deck needs to be running a Judge. I feel like if you're having a Judge in your hand, you know, you're probably not wanting to play it that often. But I think having hand control in this game is much better than other games because there is no maximum hand size for this game. So your opponent can have, you know, freaking 20 cards with these Alakazam decks. Sometimes you just need to get their hand size down. Special Red card is another one of those cards that allows you to control their hand size. I've been taking this out and putting it back in. I feel like every deck needs to run one of these. Again, I'm just having a hard time figuring out the balance between what to run and what not to run. Team Rocket's Petrol. So this card is kind of replacing Arven in a very low, not as great of a way, but this could be really good for Transformation Tome. I never even thought about that, where you can Petrol into a second Transformation Tome and then use both the Transformation Tomes. This card, I've been playing it online and it's been really, really good for getting my Brilliant Blender. So I think that's going to be a card that we're going to try and pick up today at the game store before our tournament starts. And I think that'll help our game strategy a lot because we haven't been playing Brilliant Blender because I don't have it. Team Rocket's Petrol seems really good for Brilliant Blender. Seems really good for getting like a Prism Tower. Other than that, I don't find it to be super useful, but I could see it being really good with the Brilliant Blender. And then Lily's Pearl, I don't even know if it's worth putting in. I think it's such a specific card that maybe it's not even worth throwing in, so that could be something that we have to consider. I've been currently running 10 energy altogether, so 6 basic psychic energy and 4 telepathic energy. And last tournament, 2 days ago, I felt like I had way too many energy, you know? When I chop it down to 8, I feel like I have such a low amount of energy, so maybe the sweet spot is 9, right? So that could be something that we try out today, using 9 energy instead of 10, instead of 8. 8 feels way too low. You just don't see them enough. 10 feels way too high. You end up getting 3 to 4 energy in your hand and you just don't need that many. You only need 1 energy to do your thing, so I could see this getting chopped down to 9. But other than that, there's not much else in this deck that I want to talk about. I've been playing Neutralization Zone as my A spec, and Neutralization Zone is a super powerful card, but it just gets stadium bumped so easily, and I feel like there's so many times where you have it in your hand and you don't play it because you want it to be the last card that you play in your hand, instead of playing it early, them finding a stadium and bumping it, and you're out of your A spec for the rest of the game. So I think I'm gonna cut that. Other than that, you know, what I'm looking at right now looks really good. I think I just need to figure out the numbers. Maybe we can come back after the tournament today and discuss the things that we changed, how it worked, figure out what's working, what's not, and reevaluate this deck each day until the end of the week. You know, I'm having fun with it, and I'm also struggling with it. You know, it's one of those things where I feel like there's maybe times that I'm not playing correctly, and there's maybe deck building things that are not right in the deck. I can't think of any Pokemon that I'm not including that I feel like I should be including, maybe besides the Lily's Clefairy. So I think today we're gonna try out the Lily's Clefairy and see how that feels for us. I have a feeling that it's gonna be really, really good, because you're gonna play your telepathic energy, slam out a Lily's Clefairy, and one-shot Dragapult for the rest of the game, and I feel like that's going to be extremely successful. There is actually one other card that I want to check out real quick that I have not checked out, and I want to discuss one more thing about the Dhelmise attack. So Dhelmise does 170 damage. It's not one-shotting Fezandipiti, it's not one-shotting Latias, Latias. It's not one-shotting really it's not really one-shotting anything but a Meowth, right? So Brave Bangle has been something that's been on my mind recently. Brave Bangle is a Pokemon tool. It says, if this Pokemon this card is attached to doesn't have a rule box, which is basically all our Pokemon, the attacks it uses do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX. So but it's still 10 damage short, which has been like, it's just such a strange feeling to be like, okay, I can do 200, but I need that 1 extra damage like to knock things out. So I can't figure out exactly what's gonna put the Dhelmise over the top. I feel like the sweet spot for Dhelmise is 40 extra damage. You know, there's a supporter called Black Belt Training that does 40 extra damage to stage to EXs. But the problem with that is it's a supporter, so I can't play Boss's Orders and Black Belt Training in the same turn. The other card, I guess, would be Binding Mochi, but there's just not a lot of good ways to poison my Dhelmise. I can't even think of one, to be honest with you. You know, I mean, there's Pecharunt, but like it doesn't poison it because it's not a dark type. You know, I couldn't even think of a way to get my Dhelmise poisoned. but that would be an option for it. You know, being able to use Binding Mochi, putting the extra 40 damage onto that Vengeful Anchor to get it up to 210. You know, I think that is really like a key winning strategy for this deck. So you know, those are things that maybe I could think about, but like I wouldn't. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything that's gonna poison my active Pokemon and allow me to attack with my Vengeful Anchor for 40 more damage. So Brave Bengal is something that I want to put in. I don't think it's going to help at all, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be, you know, I mean, the only thing I could see it helping with is like not putting Clefairy in, right? Running Brave Bengal, doing 200 damage to a Dragapult, and not caring if they Monkey Dory the damage counters off there because I can do 200 again. I don't know if it's worth a card for that. So these are things that I want to think about. For now, I'm gonna build the deck based off of what we just talked about. Hopefully it goes a little bit better today. We can get some good prizing. I'll record the games and we can come back to what we built tomorrow and go from there. So as always, happy collecting, good luck in any of your games, and I will see you